Good morning, we're the chosen accountants, and I'm Kemigisa Camila.
I'm Atege Sowet.
Fortunate Stacy Matamba.
Mumba Brian.
And I'm Melissa Agembawas. So today we are going to be talking about the current economic crisis in Uganda as per the rising commodity prices and the policies that are available for the government to be implemented and avert the whole situation. So basically, there are two policies, that is fiscal policy and monetary policy. We're going to be taking us through the fiscal policy, and my friend here will be taking us through the monetary policy. So in the fiscal policy, this is where the government uses spending, its spending or expenditure and the tax policies to influence the economic conditions. And under fiscal policy, we have two types. That is the expansionary fiscal policy and contractionary fiscal policy. With expansionary fiscal policy, this is where the government is aimed at increasing the amount of money that is in circulation, and this can be done by carrying out increasing the projects they are working on, such as the parish development model or the yoga, and also decreasing on the taxes levied on businesses. With contractionally, they are aiming at reducing the amount of money that is in circulation. This can be done by increasing on the taxes that they are levied. With expansionally, the government usually engages in it when they are trying to deal with economic recessions, and with contractionally, they usually engage with it when they are trying to work on inflation. My friend here is going to take us through the monetary policy. Thank you.
Monetary policies, this involves the macroeconomic policy, which is laid down by Central Bank of Uganda and includes the money of supply within the economy and the interest rates within the period of time. We have two different types of monetary policies. That is the contractionary policy, which includes the decrease in money of supply within the economy and the interest rates within a given period of time. Then we have the expansionary policy, which includes the increase of money in supply within the economy and the interest rates, that is increasing the interest rates within a given period of time. We have four particular tools of monetary policy, which include the open market operations, the discount rates, requirements, and interest of exceeds within the period of time. My friend Camila will take you through the other part of. Yeah, thank you.
So we met and agreed that we think the government can use both monetary and fiscal policy to avert the current economic situation. So I'm going to talk about the fiscal policy and how government can implement it to avert the current economic situation. And my friend will tell us how government can use monetary policy to avert the current economic situation. So as per the presidential address on 22nd of May, when he was talking about the current increase of prices of commodities like salt, sugar, soap, and cooking oil and fuel, he attributed this to the current ongoing war of Ukraine when it was invaded by Russia. Remember, some of the raw materials were being imported from Ukraine into Uganda to produce goods like supreme wheat flour, but due to that current situation of the war, we cannot produce such goods because of that. So that has somehow led to the increase of prices. So what can government do under fiscal policy? Remember, fiscal policy is more about spending and taxes. So government can do two things. One, reduce taxes being charged on citizens and manufacturing firms, taxes like import duty, the digital tax, and all that. Then government can also introduce subsidies whereby it comes and cuts prices or offer indirect help to farms producing such commodities, so that in the end they can charge lesser prices to the consumers. That will help the prices of commodities to go down, since when you incur lesser cost on a product while producing it, you will charge lesser prices, hence being able to avert the current economic situation. Thank you.
As earlier agreed by the group, the government can not only use fiscal policy but can also use monetary policy to avert the current situation. For example, it can use the expansionary tool. For example, it can use bank rate. When the government, through the central bank, reduces on the bank rate, the rate at which commercial banks borrow from the central bank, This will reduce the price or the cost of borrowing from commercial banks. And this means that investors will get loans from commercial banks at a lower cost, and thereby producing at lower cost, hence setting low prices for the final products. This will mean that consumers will purchase at a lower price. This is how the government, through the central bank, can try to avert the current situation using monetary policy. Thanks.
Talking about the effects, we have the effects of the monetary policy. Monetary policy enables, like, promotes transparency and predicament, whereby the decision makers will be able to communicate to the consumers earlier on the policy that will be used. It will also enable, like, lower the inflation rates, whereby when they are low, people will be able to have some money to spend on other prices, on other things. Then we also have, it can lead to the low mortgage payments, whereby when the prices are low, people are able to get what exactly they need at a lower price, which will enable them move well with their stay or living. It also leads out brings out a possibility of more investment, since the consumers will be spending more on the commodities. On the negative side of this policy, it may discourage expansion, since the rates are high and people will be paying so much, like the prices will be high, so they pay so much on the products, leading to discouraging the expansion of businesses by the owners. When we go to the physical policy, um, it increases on the demand of goods and services by the consumers, since the prices are low. Government will also be able to provide employment by spending more on, like, roads, and people are given a chance to work and be able to get what to do. These are some of the consequences of both the monetary and physical. Thank you so much. Thank you.